Hey, everybody. Welcome back out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I'm Joey. I'm here with Brandon, and our producer, Shorts, is here with us. You won't hear from him, and you're welcome.
The genius.
The genius.
The man behind the microphone and the screen.
You don't think you're going to hear from me?
You're all welcome for that, too. So today we're going to keep talking about some of our core values. We've gone through courage and collaboration. Today we're going to talk about compassion. Compassion is one that when we were talking about this one came up a lot in different ways, different words, as an attribute that all of our employees kind of exhibited. You know, they cared for one another. They went out of their way to sacrifice of themselves for somebody else, and we settled on the word compassion. I think this is kind of an appropriate time of year to talk about compassion.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the holiday season. There's a lot of people kind of feel more compassion this time of year, and they kind of give of themselves for the greater good for someone else. So compassion to me is it's pretty important to try and balance, you know, the accountability that we really live with at our company. And we expect everybody to be an owner, so they should take ownership of what they do and be self-accountable and kind of hold themselves to a standard. But to balance that with, hey, we still care about you as a person, and we're going to have compassion for you. I think that's important.
Yeah, and I think even, you know, there's so many different aspects that we have of compassion within our company. And it's not necessarily one to another, per se. I think it even goes beyond us to a customer or to a vendor. I think one of the greatest examples that I've seen of compassion is, you know, there's a term that we use, enriching our community. And I think that's probably been one of the greatest examples that I've seen of compassion, is to see we have this program that goes through the whole entire year that, you know, Kim Labram McClaws, caught myself on that one. KLM. She's been a big proponent behind for the past few years. And that's, you know, the fundraising for the Festival of Trees and for primary children's and things of that nature. But to be able to see, you know, she put this program together where you could donate or have money withheld from your paycheck to give to this, you know, what we use to go to the Festival of Trees and things of that nature. And to be able to see over the years the amounts, you know, from a few $100 to where we're almost six figures that we see in a year withheld from all of our employees that are willing to give to other people.
Yeah.
To people that are in need, right? And then you get these beautiful trees at your locations. I know that they just barely went through that, you know, a few days ago. And you're going to have these beautiful trees. They're going to get raffled off, right? And how many times, Joe, have you seen our employees who get the tree after spending all this money or whatever, donating it, they get this tree, and then what do they do with it?
Turn around and give it to someone else.
They turn around and they give it to somebody else. And it might be someone in the community. It might be, someone in the branch, in the company. But often it's someone in the community, right? And it's them seeking and finding a family that's in need, in a hardship, whatever it is. And they turn around and, I mean, this is in these trees, you know, they're beautiful in nature already. But what's really cool is they come with all these gifts.
Yeah.
And it's hundreds of dollars worth of gifts.
Oh, yeah.
And they just, you know, I'm good. Give it to someone else. Give it to someone else that's in need. I mean, you just look at that. And for me, my mind it's blown by how compassionate our people are. And that's really why I think it's really one of our core values here at Mountainland Supply.
Yeah, I think our outreach to the community is something that we did naturally anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, stepping it up and implementing Giving Hope over the last year has kind of been a little bit of put our money where our mouth is. You know, if we're going to do something, do it.
As I would say, put our big boy pants on.
Yeah, if we're going to do something, do it the right way and go all in. I think also within the company, we've done a few things over the last few years that have helped show that we do have compassion for employees. You know, we don't have accrued time off anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's a phenomenal one.
We have bereavement now. We have maternity and paternity leave now. There are things that we've done for the employees that shows what we really believed in the first place, but it outlined it in policy now. I remember there a few years ago. It's probably been 15 years ago now, but there was an employee, and he went through a really hard time. His wife actually passed away, and she had an infection, and she was in the hospital, and things were going great until they weren't, and she ended up passing away. And I remember at that time, this was an employee that was of some renown, and people really appreciated him. And I actually worked for him at the time. He was one of my supervisors, and everybody kind of came together, and we each gifted him some of our days off so that he didn't go unpaid while he was trying to take care of his wife. And so that's who we were anyway. It's what we believed in. It's what we all wanted to do, but we never really had it as policy. And I remember, there was senior management at the time that were gifting this gentleman some of their time off, some of their days. But now we've outlined it in policy that we have flexible time off. And that's not to say that you have unlimited time off, but it is if it's approved.
Yeah.
If it's not a detriment to your department and you've been pulling your weight and it's just, hey, I got a soccer game I need to go to for my kids. We expect you to do those things. We expect you to have time with your families. We expect you to have a great work-life balance. And I think that really shows our compassion for one another.
Yeah. No, I think that one, to be honest with you, when we started talking about doing compassion, I didn't think we were going to go down this road of having flexible time off. And that whole process of just how that came together, that was
way interesting.
Way interesting. And it's one that you really, truly felt like this is who we are. This is what we would be willing to do anyways. So let's do that. And honestly, because of our culture and we have respect, our employees, I feel like, have a respect for the company
and for one another.
And exactly that we could implement something like this. I think in most companies, if I tell people out in the industry when I meet with them, I tell that, we have a flexible time off, they just laugh at me or they get concerned about it. They're like, oh, I'm sure that hasn't been going very well. It's like, well, we've had 5 years of it, and it's been working out pretty well for us. I think at a quick story that I had is at the very beginning of this, because it's probably another episode to go into kind of the background of this, but this was, I wouldn't say that this is what I was advocating for, but this was my baby, right? Trying to push this and get this through. And I was trying to do it because there was an accounting issue that we had. Yep. That's what it all stemmed from, was an accounting issue. And it's like, okay, this is how we resolve it, is if we do something like this. And so that was kind of the premise of where we started. So I was the one that had to present it to the whole group and say, okay, hey, you in, are you on this? And even talk to the branch manager. So that very first year, I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous. I'm like, I hope people don't take advantage of this. I really hope that we don't have like all these issues with it, because if not, personally, it's going to look bad on me. Secondly, we're going to take away this great benefit, and that's going to be really hard to put it out there and pull it back. Yep. I really didn't want that. I really wanted to see it successful. So most people don't know this, but I was pulling reports, and I'm looking at the days, and I wasn't doing it like every week, but I was doing it quarterly.
No, we were monitoring it fairly close.
Yeah. And I got one. I pulled it one time, and I looked at it, and there was this name, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm looking at the total hour. I'm like, what in the world just happened? I'm like, this is not good. And so, my philosophy on this is, if I see an employee like that, am I mad at the employee? No, I'm not mad at the employee. I'm not mad at anyone, but my question goes to the supervisor, because you approved it.
Yeah.
So usually, and at that very beginning, there's a lot of lack of training on,
right.
You can say no, things of that nature. Anyways, I remember calling the manager, the supervisor on it, and I was like, hey, tell me, why did you do this? Have you not heard what's going on with him? No, I haven't. Tell me, enlighten me, please. And he tells me, and I'm like, holy cow, I had no clue. And it's very, very similar to kind of what
very heavy.
Yeah. and it was a family issue and
Yeah.
things like this. And I'm just like, holy cow. I mean, my heart just sank when I heard this. And he, went on to tell me, he's like, but because of this, he's like, he's been able to take care of, the family and been able to help and spend these last moments with his loved one. I'm just like, it was one of those moments I'm like, okay, I'm so happy that we do have this, that they are allowed to do this. And honestly, at the end of the day, the branch probably would have let the person do it anyways.
They totally would have. And we've
Because
done that in the past.
Everybody would have pitched in.
Like, I'll cover it for you.
But now we actually have a process where they could participate in this and they could have those last moments with their loved ones. And I'm like, totally, hands down, I'm so glad we have this. This is who we are. This is compassion to its fullest right here.
Well, and then it goes from something that appeared on the face to be abuse of a new policy, and it turned out to be the exact reason why we wanted to do it.
Yep, exactly.
Because we truly do care about one another, and everybody's situation's different. Everybody has their own, path to walk in this life. And if we can have a little bit of, compassion and grace for one another, man, what a beautiful world this would be,
Go. Treat everybody like human beings.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
Brothers
nice?
and sisters, man. We're
Yep.
all in the same fight.
Yep.
So
there you go. That's compassion. So thanks for spending a little bit of windshield time with us, and we'll see you on the next trip.
have a good one, everyone.
Thanks, guys.